Aging Disgracefully, a weekly oddcast of seriously funny and sometimes raunchy monologues. I'm Carolyn Meyer, and I'm pleased to tell you that my favorite guest, and so far my only guest, is back today. Here is episode number 21, another conversation with Lusty Bangor, retired porn star. Welcome back, Lusty. The last time you were here on Aging Disgracefully, and that was back in February, I believe, you announced that you were running for mayor of Albuquerque. So tell us, how is the campaign going? Well, first of all, thank you for having me here, Caroline. My goal right now is to put on some fundraisers for my campaign, and let me tell you, it's been a real challenge during the COVID thing. I'm used to performing before an actual audience, kind of whooping and cheering, but a socially distant lap dance is an oxymoron, in my opinion. And pole dancing on Zoom is just not working out to my advantage. So, as I said, fundraising has not been an easy undertaking these days, although things are easing up quite a lot, and of course, I got my vaccination. I can imagine has been a real challenge, but you have so many fans and admirers. I'm sure you've found ways to pull it off. Honey, I can pull off just about anything and everything. Well, I could guess that. So tell us, besides your political aspirations, what's happening in your professional life? You told us last time you were here that you were about to launch your career in filmmaking. So, of course, we want to hear all about that. And I surely do want to tell you all about it, Caroline. Fact is, I've always believed that movies were my true calling. And as you may recollect, I have a wide knowledge of history. I've always been fascinated by royalty. Henry VIII's wives, Marie Antoinette, Cleopatra. And because of my religious upbringing, I dearly love those Bible characters going back to Adam and Eve and Samson and Delilah, Mary Magdalene. Oh, you're obviously a natural for the parts. I know I am, but the COVID thing, with all its rules and regulations, has slowed movie making almost to a dead stop. It's been so dang frustrating, and so I pivoted, as I like to say, got me some new ideas. That's exciting news, Lusty. Let's hear it. I have established the Lusty Bangor School of Pornography. Notice I pronounce it pornography. It just sounds so much better, don't you think? Anyway, I'm offering an online course in creative pornography filmmaking. Now, here's the thing to keep in mind, Caroline. Pornography is all about fantasy. Creative pornography filmmaking is all about learning how to bring those fantasies to life. Remember the sweet, innocent stories you loved as a child. Just think of how you might make those beloved stories and make them filthy fun for fully formed folks. That's my motto. Alliterative, Sounds very interesting, Lusty. Give us an example. Oh, be glad to. We start with the classic, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Now, as you may recall, Snow White's jealous stepmother wants to get her out of the picture. The old lady gives Snow White a poisoned apple. Snow eats it and keels over. Along come the seven little guys, and they find Snow out cold. They all gather around, stare down at her. Don't know quite how to respond until Happy says, "Hi-ho, this little gal can be our wife." Now, none of the little guys knows except Doc knows exactly what a wife is, but he explains it, and they carry Snow to their frat house, and they sing to her, they write poems for her, they bring her flowers. But it isn't until Dopey gives her a big kiss, a big old smooch, she wakes up. One by one, the little guys figure out more things to do to please her. And let me tell you, Snow is one satisfied chick. Then one day, who should show up but Prince Charming on his horse? I have saved you, he tells Snow White. You're coming with me now. Snow tells Prince Charming to fuck off, and she and the 7 little guys live happily ever after. Well, that's certainly a different ending to the story than I remember. Well, I told you, Caroline, it's a fantasy. Wouldn't you like having 7 little guys doing whatever to please you? I mean, sure as shooting beats a vibrator in my book. Okay, I'll grant you that. Now here's another one for you. Who doesn't know about 3 little pigs? Fuck-ups who don't know how to build a house. But the way I tell the story, it's 3 girl piggies who build the house. Big Bad Wolf isn't interested in blowing their house down. He comes by 'cause he just wants to get blown. But the 3 little girl piggies, they all went to market. None of them stayed home. And the Big Bad Wolf is out of luck, right? Well, that's right, but that's not the end of it. The Big Bad Wolf heads down the street to Grandma's house. Not clear what he expects Grandma to give him a blowjob, but that's not the point of this story. Meanwhile, Little Red Riding Hood's on her way to Grandma's with a basket of goodies. Grandma has just remarked, "What a big cock you have, Mr. Wolf," when Little Red shows up and finds Grandma in bed, snuggled up there with a Big Bad Wolf. Little Red has a concealed carry permit, and she pulls a Glock on him. Big Bad Wolf jumps out of Grandma's bed, takes off like a shot before he gets shot. Grandma, needless to say, is severely pissed. "Put away that fucking gun, Red," Grandma says. "I was just beginning to enjoy myself for the first time in years." Okay, Lusty, I get it, and I can certainly sympathize with Grandma. But those stories are about girls. Do you have any stories about boys? Oh, all right. How about Pinocchio, the wooden puppet who wants to be a real boy? He has a propensity for telling lies, and every time he tells a lie, his watch-a-ding gets longer and longer. I'm still working on the details of that story, though. But here's one that's my personal favorite. Goldilocks and the 3 Bears. I've ditched the fuzzy papa, mama, cuddly baby bear coming home to find this blonde chick who ate their porridge and sat in their chairs. It's 3 big black bears that come home. Goldilocks takes turns sleeping in their beds, and a good time is had by all. Yes, well, Lusty, you're just bursting with bright ideas, aren't you? And you're intending to do all this if you're elected mayor? Yes, I am, Caroline, and it's not if I'm elected mayor, it's when, which is next November. But I want to tell you about another thing I've got going on. I did some market research, and I came to realize that there is a need, and not just a need, but a demand for an institution of lower education. Lower education? Explain that one to us, Lusty. Well, so in addition to the online filmmaking course, the Lusty Bangor School of Pornography will be offering a series of personal workshops. For instance, there will be individual tutorials for folks wanting to improve their sex. Those naughty little text messages that light up your smartphone in the middle of the night. Oh, and they are so much fun, aren't they? Well, I do have to admit, I keep my iPhone right next to me on the pillow, just in case a message arrives from one of my friends. Of course you do, honey. And then we'll be having practicums on phone sex. talking dirty, especially on FaceTime and Zoom too. That is a more popular form of entertainment than ever. What with COVID, I kind of hate to see things go back to whatever normal is. And that's not all. I'm offering special photography classes to the ladies in taking better pussy portraits. I find the gentlemen often ask their lady friends to sell them selfies, and the ladies just don't seem to have the knack for doing it right. I can coach them through camera angles and proper lighting. I'm especially good at suggesting provocative positions. You're an expert on positions, no doubt. And will you set up similar classes for men? I bet they could use some advice on this. You're talking about dick pics. Caroline, I haven't met a man yet who didn't love to bust out his junk and take a picture of it. And not just snapshots, but videos. I have to tell you, Caroline, most of the ones I've seen are pretty bad. Not the dicks themselves, understand? I mean, a dick is a dick any way you look at it. It's the way they've been photographed or videoed. So that's where my focus will be. Under my direction, those dick pics will be works of art. I'm sure you can teach the guys a thing or two, Lusty. Indeed I can. And I do want to remind folks that applications to the Lusty Bangor School of Pornography are being accepted. Sign up today. And remember, too, that I'm officially running for Mayor of Albuquerque. I'll be asking for your vote on November 2nd. Thank you, Lusty Bangor, for being my guest today on Aging Disgracefully. We look forward to hearing more about your plans to improve pussy portraits and dick pics, as well as your campaign to become the next mayor of Albuquerque, New Mexico. You can read this and other stories on my blog at funnycarolyn.com, but do come back next week for episode number 22, Dear Diaries. And be sure to subscribe. I'm Carolyn Meyer, and I'm aging disgracefully.